They say time heals all wounds, but some songs never stop bleeding. I was in the middle of a busy subway when I heard her voice. That same melody, soft, trembling, familiar. My chest tightened, my hands went cold. Because that song wasn't just a song, it was a memory. A memory I buried 10 years ago, along with the woman I betrayed. Have you ever heard something, a voice, a tune, a scent, that dragged you back to a moment you swore you'd forgotten? A moment that reminds you of the one person you hurt the most? 10 years ago, I was broke, hungry, and in love with a girl who believed in dreams more than reality. Her name was Mary. We shared one plate of rice, one tiny room, and one promise that love would be enough. But when life got hard and she told me she was pregnant, I ran. I denied everything, even her tears. I told myself I was chasing success, but deep down, I was running from guilt. Now, I'm Michael Okonkwo, billionaire and CEO of Michi Oil and Gas Company. 3 mansions, private jet, cars worth more than our old hostel. But still, no peace, no rest, just silence. Until tonight, when I heard that song again. Who was that little girl singing the same song Mary used to hum every night before I left? Why does she have Mary's eyes? And why do I feel like my past is standing right in front of me, begging me to face it? Because that's when I realized some mistakes don't fade with time. They come back in voices, in songs, in the eyes of a child who carries your soul. So before you judge me, before you think it's just another sad love story, let me take you back to where it all began. To the hunger, the laughter, the promises, and the one decision that changed everything. This is the story of love, betrayal, and the song that refused to die. Drop a comment right now. Have you ever walked away from someone you wish you never left? Hit that like button if you believe the past always finds a way back. And subscribe and stay till the end, because what happened next will break your heart and heal it at the same time.
Before the money, before the cars, before the fame, there was hunger. Not just hunger for food, but hunger for something more. Back in university, I was just Michael, an ordinary student with big dreams and empty pockets. My shoes had holes, my shirts were faded, but every time I looked at Mary, I felt rich. She was the kind of girl who smiled even when life gave her nothing. She'd laugh at my silly jokes, share her last spoon of rice, and hum that song, the one that later became my curse. Her voice always made me believe everything would be fine. We used to sit under that old mango tree beside the hostel, talking about the future. She'd say, "Michael, even if we don't have money now, love will take us there." And I would smile, even though deep down I didn't believe her. Because I was tired. Tired of being broke. Tired of watching rich kids drive by in their parents' cars while I counted coins for Gary. Tired of being the boy everyone laughed at for dreaming too big. I wanted more. Money, respect, power. I wanted to be somebody. Then one evening, Mary held my hand and said softly, "Michael, there's something I need to tell you." Her eyes were trembling, her voice shaking. "I am pregnant." The world around me stopped. The words hit harder than a slap. My heart raced, not with joy, but fear. "What?" I asked, hoping I heard wrong. She nodded slowly. "It's yours, Micah. You're going to be a father." For a moment, I just stared at her. My chest felt heavy. My dreams flashed before me. the company I wanted to build, the life I planned to live. And suddenly, everything felt ruined. "No," I said, shaking my head. "No, Mary, you can't do this to me." Her eyes widened. "Do this to you? Michael, it's our child." "Our child?" I snapped. "You think I'm ready to be a father? You think I want to waste my future raising a baby in this poverty?" Tears rolled down her face. "I thought you loved me." "I did," I said coldly. "But love doesn't feed a child. Love doesn't pay rent. Maybe you planned this. Maybe you just want to trap me here forever." "Trap you?" she whispered. "How can you say that?" But I was too angry, too scared to listen. I grabbed my bag, stood up, and walked away. She tried to stop me, but I pushed her hand off. "Don't call me again, Mary. I can't let a mistake ruin my life." Those were my last words to her. And that night, she sat alone in that tiny room, crying and humming that same song, the song that would one day haunt me in a subway. And as her voice echoed through the night, I convinced myself I was doing the right thing. I told myself I was chasing success, but the truth was I was just running away.
10 years later, the world called me Michael Okonkwo, billionaire and CEO of Michi Oil and Gas Company. A man with everything. Mansion in Lekki, luxury cars, private jet, you name it. But what the world didn't see was the emptiness that came with it. Every night, when the noise of success faded, my past would whisper in my ear. Mary's voice, that soft melody she used to hum whenever we had nothing. I tried to drown it out with money, parties, and fake smiles, but it always came back. That night, I was rushing through the subway after a business meeting. The air was cold, the walls echoed with footsteps, and everyone was in a hurry. Phones buzzing, trains rumbling, street musicians playing. Then, in the middle of all that noise, I heard it. That song. I froze instantly. The same song Mary used to sing when we were in school, sharing one plate of rice. The sound cut through the crowd, soft and beautiful, but filled with pain. I turned and saw her, a little girl, no older than 10 years old, standing near a pillar. She had a small metal bowl beside her, collecting coins from strangers. Her voice was clear, emotional, haunting. My briefcase dropped. The people around me kept walking, but I couldn't move. My heart started racing. I stepped closer, my eyes locked on her face. Her hair was tied in a messy bun. Her clothes were old, but her eyes were the same as Mary's. Big, brown, innocent, the kind that carried too much emotion for a child. I whispered to myself, "No, it can't be." But the more I listened, the more I knew. This wasn't just a song, it was a message from my past. When she finished singing, people clapped and dropped money into a bowl. She gave a small smile, just like Mary used to. That smile broke something inside me. I wanted to speak to her, to ask who taught her that song, but fear held me back. What if I was wrong? What if I wasn't ready for the truth? Instead, I called my personal assistant, Tunde. I said quietly, "Tunde, follow that girl when she leaves. Find out where she lives. Don't let her see you." He frowned. "Boss, why? Who is she?" "Just do it," I said, trying to hide the shake in my voice. He nodded and followed her through the subway exit. I waited in the car for over an hour, my heart pounding like I was back in school again, broke, scared, unsure. When Tunde finally came back, his face said everything. "Boss, I need you to see this yourself. She lives in Ajagunle." I turned sharply. "What woman?" He hesitated. "I think it's her, boss. The same woman in the old photo on your desk." I snatched his phone. On the screen was a blurry picture, a woman lying on a bed, weak and thin. And beside her, that same girl, cooking something on a small stove. My throat went dry. It was her, Mary. Still alive, still suffering, still paying the price for my choice. And that little girl, I didn't need anyone to tell me. She was mine. I covered my face with my hands and whispered, "That's my daughter." The sound of the train passing above echoed like thunder, a painful reminder that no matter how far you run, your past always finds a way back.
I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Mary's face. Weak, tired, still beautiful in my memory. And that little girl's eyes, they wouldn't leave my mind. At sunrise, I made a decision. For the first time in 10 years, I wasn't chasing money. I was chasing forgiveness. I told my driver to take me to Ajagunle. When we arrived, I stepped out quietly. The place was crowded. Narrow streets, rusty rooftops, children playing barefoot. It was nothing like the world I lived in now. Tunde pointed to a small house. "That's where they live, sir." My chest tightened as I walked closer. Through the window, I saw her. Mary. She was lying on an old mattress, her body frail, her breathing slow. Beside her, that little girl, Zara. She was mixing pop and humming softly. That same song. Tears blurred my eyes. For a moment, I couldn't move. Then I took a deep breath and knocked. Zara opened the door, looking surprised. "Good morning, sir," she said politely. "Good morning," I replied, forcing a smile. "Is your mother home?" She nodded and ran inside. "Mummy, someone wants to see you." I stepped in, my heart pounding. When Mary looked up and saw me, everything stopped. Her eyes widened, her lips trembled. For a long moment, neither of us said a word. "Michael," she whispered. Her voice was weak, but it hit me like thunder. I dropped to my knees beside her bed, tears falling before I could stop them. "Mary, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." She looked at me quietly, her eyes filled with both pain and peace. "I never thought I'd see you again," she said softly. "I was a fool. I left you when you needed me most. I lied to myself, thinking money would fill the space you left. But it never did. Every day I heard that song in my head. Every night I saw your face in my dreams. Please, forgive me." Mary smiled faintly. "Michael, I forgave you a long time ago." Her words broke me. I held her hand, and for the first time in years, I felt warmth. Real, painful, human warmth. Zara watched us silently, confused. Mary turned to her slowly and whispered, "Zara, come here." The girl came close, holding her mother's hand. "Zara," Mary said with tears in her eyes, "this man is your father." Zara froze. Her small eyes darted between us. "My father?"
I nodded, crying openly now. "Yes, baby, I'm your father. I didn't know you existed." Mary smiled faintly, her eyes glistening with tears. "At least you came," she said softly, "before the end." "No," I said, shaking my head. "Don't say that. You're going to be fine. I'll get the best doctors. She touched my face gently, stopping me. "Shh, Michael. Some things can't be fixed with money." Her hand slipped from mine. Her breathing slowed. "Mary," I whispered, panicking. "Mary, please." But it was too late. She smiled one last time, a small, peaceful smile, and closed her eyes forever. I held her in my arms and cried like a child. Zara hugged me tightly, her tiny arms around my neck. We both wept. Days later, I buried Mary. At her graveside, Zara stood beside me, singing that same song. The song that began our love, carried our pain, and ended in forgiveness. Her voice was soft, but strong. Every note carried a piece of her mother's spirit. And as I listened, tears rolled down my face. But for the first time in years, they felt different. They weren't just tears of regret. They were tears of peace. Because even though I lost Mary, I found something she left behind. A daughter, a second chance. Now every night, when Zara sings, I don't feel haunted anymore. I feel healed. Because sometimes the song that once broke you is the same song that saves you.